What's up, Steeler Nation? Welcome. Sorry for that little inconvenience there with the sound. For you guys that are hearing this live, for you guys that will see this on the replay, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but I've cut out that part of the video. But welcome to the latest episode of the Steeler Report. Episode 5, I believe. This is my pregame show where I give a quick pregame in regards to the upcoming opponent. This is a very, very quick show, and I'm going to stick to that tonight, man. Tonight is just myself and my son. Got to pick my wife up from the airport in a few hours here, so I'm definitely not going to be before you too long. Again, tonight's show is just an in and out, quick preview, sort of somewhat keys to victory, what the Steelers would need to do to if they want to get a victory. And there you have it. No phone calls tonight, but the phone number is there on the screen because that will be available for you guys on Tuesday. So anyone who's newly seeing this, on Tuesday is the day that you can call and vent, yell, scream, whatever you want to do about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But all right, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me say what's up to the early commenters so I won't waste any time tonight. Let's get right to it. And I'm probably going to see a bunch of you guys saying, muted. It was weird, man. I tried to add a what's called a noise gate to the audio. And it didn't seem like it was doing anything, right? So, I just clicked out of it, but apparently it was taking the mic away. So that's why I was muted. But all right, let's get it. Let's see, who do we got here? Rajon39, Joshua Shields, Daredevil, Ali Howard, Vista Light. Hello, the real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. How you doing this evening? You are one of the members of the extended family, so hopefully you were able to see that bonus content. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did see that there was some, a couple views on there, at least, roughly the amount of guys and girls who are members of the channel. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Billy Smith, Mark Stewart, Cody. Hello, Miss Sade. How you doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Wave Dave, Miss Lanisha, how you doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Y'all know we got to take care of the ladies, man. We give them the special shout outs. And look at this. Here's another one. Miss Destiny. How you doing tonight, Destiny? Hope you're doing well. High five right back at you. I see you got the hand up with the emoji, I guess you would call it. Let's see. Who else is in here? Cody said no sound. Yeah, here y'all go. Y'all gonna start rolling with the no sound. Yeah, I'm glad y'all said that. Kenyon texted me as well, man. I'm glad y'all got me on track. PDG90. Who else? Good brother Kenyon in the building. Who else is in here? Rail Fax is in the building. What's up, Rail? Sheila Henry. I'm assuming that's another lady, another female listener. So hello, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Good brother Y Diggy in the building, who is also a member of the channel. So Y Diggy, I hope you were able to see some of the additional content there, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll end it right there. Ozzy Tanks. We'll end it with Ozzy Tanks. All right, so what we're going to talk about tonight, man, actually, we're going to get right into, give me a second. I have it here. First thing I kind of want to dive into is who's currently out for the Steelers. This is going to be interesting. All right, so I'm going to pull up the injury reports for both the Steelers and the Broncos. The Broncos, and, for them, they actually have more people that are more questionable than out. But, when you're questionable, sometimes some of those guys may or not play. So let's start with the Denver Broncos first. All right, so first person who is questionable, of course, will be Teddy Bridgewater. Then also Melvin Gordon, Deontay Spencer. Some of you Steelers fans would remember him. Some of us wanted to keep him, right, as a return guy. And I think we did okay finding Ray McLeod. But him and also Pat Surtain, the rookie cornerback. Their injuries consist of Bridgewater has a concussion, Melvin Gordon, lower leg, Deontay Spencer, as well as Pat Surtain, is a chest. All right, everyone else is pretty much good to go. Albert O. I do not know how to pronounce his last name, but you guys should be familiar with who Albert O is. Very speedy tight end. He will be out, as well as there's another questionable, Courtland Sutton. Cortland Sutton will be questionable as well. So we got to keep an eye on the questionables, man. We'll find out, of course, by tomorrow who will officially be inactive. But let's kind of just play that in your mind. If these guys are inactive and if they don't play, then what does that mean for them? Drew Lock, we saw Drew Lock last year, right? And, we got him up out the paint really quick. And then the other kid came in and he actually performed fairly well against us. That was a tough game. Y'all remember that? So, yeah, man, I think if they don't have Sutton, if they don't have Gordon, don't have Surtain, then definitely they're going to be compromised. But I'll talk about that running back situation in a moment. Y'all know I get an opportunity to talk about one of the guys that y'all know I love, even though I love Najee Harris. But y'all know Javonte Williams was on my radar, so we'll talk about that in a moment. As far as the Pittsburgh Steelers, Carlos Davis is out. Cam Sutton is out. Rashad Coward is out, and he's literally out as he got released today. We'll talk about that here in a moment as well. And James Washington. James Washington is out, and why is that important? Well, it kind of brings me to what I said about Rashad Coward. As you may know, or you may not know, the Steelers made roster moves today. They did activate, signed, Cody White to the 53-man roster. They also activated Carl Joseph off of the practice squad. So it will be interesting to see, who gets the helmet in terms of secondary players. Will it be Ahkello Witherspoon? Does Carl Joseph make his first appearance? What are we going to do in the nickel situation? Is it going to be more Norwood or Millette or a rotation of those guys, which we've seen? Sutton being out could affect that rotation. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you may have wanted to keep Norwood playing, further back, like playing, more of the deeper side of the defense and dime situations where you also have Sutton out there. But now, do you keep Norwood in more of the nickel spot in more passing situations, and how does that affect your dime package and sub packages and things like that? Or will you do what it seems like they've done most of the season? They've brought in Arthur Millette to kind of be the nickel guy when you're expecting more of a run situation or when you're looking to blitz. Because as I pointed out to you guys, if you've been paying attention, Millette has acquired a decent amount of tackle for losses this season. He is the guy that they're using in that capacity, more of the run defender and the blitzer, more so than Norwood. So it is going to be interesting, man, just to see how everything plays out in terms of the secondary with Joseph now being activated, yada, yada, yada. Does it affect the Steelers' plan offensively without James Washington? Maybe not so much. We'll have to see how Claypool turns out. Claypool is nursing an injury, so then it gets interesting if Claypool can't finish the game. It gets interesting now with Kobe White will have to be, is it Kobe or Cody? Cody, right? Cody will have to see more time. So then it gets interesting, but we shall see. Like I said, keep an eye on Cody White, man. I think he has a couple things to show, that he's shown us in preseason. I think this guy is okay. Let's keep an eye on him to see how he develops and how he grows even beyond this season if he remains with the Steelers. But, yeah, that's what the injury report looks like, man, on both the Steelers and the Broncos. So now, let me get to a little bit of my notations as far as, what I think the Steelers will definitely need to do, a little bit of scouting that I did watching the Broncos game. And like I said, I'll be brief with that, give my thoughts, then I'll go right to the chat. And like I said, man, we'll spend a little bit of time here. It's already been 13 minutes. I don't plan to be here more than 30 minutes, and I'm sticking to that tonight. So I noticed that the Broncos, the game that I watched the Jacksonville game. Remember I told you guys I didn't want to watch the Ravens game only because, the Ravens kind of dominated that game, so to speak. I wanted to see the Broncos in more of a situation where they were successful. You understand what I'm saying? Did I peek at the Ravens game? Sure I did. But I wanted to kind of see a game where they were successful so I could say, okay, this is how we're going to have to approach this, and we'll have to stop that, who their main targets are and things like that, since our defense is still a decent defense, but our defense hasn't been dominant over a course of 4 games. So, there's holes in our defense, so I wanted to kind of see what the Broncos do on a successful basis. Now, the caveat is that some of these guys won't be playing. Some of the guys that was playing in that game may or may not play in the game, against us. But, you get the picture. I did notice defensively, man, the Broncos play a decent amount of man coverage. Looks like they have confidence in Surtain as well as Fuller on the other side. They play a lot of man coverage. They'll mix some zone. And again, all teams will mix and match. But as you watch a full game or two of a team, you start seeing their identity, even with the Steelers. We had transitioned into more of a man defense last season. We're not doing it as much this year. We are throwing man in here and there, but we've actually gone back to more of a zone-based defense this year, and I would imagine it's because of the pieces that are out there now. Maybe we'll get back to it. And like I said, we've done it in spots, but we're definitely not we're not more man-heavy this year so far. So anyway, the Broncos seem to play a lot of man in that game. The tight end could be a good matchup against their linebackers. I noticed early on in that game that Trevor Lawrence was able to hit their tight end, or he got caught. I don't know. I can't remember who this is, but number 45 for the Broncos got caught on him. And that little middle of the field area, they're a little susceptible there. I noticed just watching the game, they're a little susceptible there, attacking the middle of the field and attacking the outside, when you get your one-on-one. I think Teddy Bridgewater did a good job of mixing that up. He attacked the middle, he attacked intermediate. Then when the shot was there, he took the shot. Not so much so like how Ben Roethlisberger was taking so many shots. Was it the Raiders? One of them teams that we just kept taking shots. Shots. I thought we were going to be drunk at the end of the game, how many shots Ben was taking. Teddy did a good job mixing it up. And again, I think the middle of the field, that middle area, maybe even a seam a little bit, is where the Broncos appear to be a little susceptible. So I would like to see Freiermuth get more opportunity in this game. And that's why I put him in the thumbnail. I think Freiermuth could be a nice component for us. Even Ebron. I know we don't always trust Ebron catching the ball, but he can stretch the field, right? He can run those kind of routes to the tight end that put stress on that intermediate middle area of the field. And, maybe we run some more, 2 tight end sets. Let's do a little 12 personnel out there, man, because, the Broncos defense seems like they can clamp the run a little bit. You get some bigger bodies out there, but I think both of these guys will be able to win some matchups in the middle of the field. So I would like to see some more 12 personnel. Don't know how much of it we'll see, but I think there's some opportunities there, man, with the tight end, particularly Pat Freiermuth, the Muth, as I call him. And I wrote right after that, we need to attack the middle of the field. So I just threw both of those together. Also, I noticed that Trevor Lawrence attacked Fuller, early in that game, and they kind of went after him. Fuller was giving up some passes, but, Fuller got caught. Marvin Jones was able to beat him on the deep ball. So I would imagine if Roethlisberger or Canada has seen that film, I'm sure they're going to say when we get the single matchup, the, single coverage or single high, Ben's going to take shots. And I'm not opposed to that. I just don't want us to get into that predictable shot after shot after shot, because as you can tell, defenses are giving that to us. They're not afraid of it because Ben hasn't been 100%. Well, there's never 100%, but he hasn't really been so accurate outside the numbers so far this season. He hit to Deontay Johnson, yes, on the free play. But think about those other plays, the ones to Juju and the one that he missed James Washington on in one of those games. I can't remember which game that was now. I don't know if that was the Bengals or it was the Raiders. But James Washington was wide open. And Ben is missing outside the numbers, and teams are not respecting his deep ball. So I just don't want us to get into a habit or fall in love with doing that. If it's there from time to time, sure, but we got to have a nice balanced game plan. And of course, let's be balanced. I'm honestly going to say maybe we don't run the ball so much because the Broncos, looks like they do have opportunities where they can stop the run. They did relatively decent against the Ravens. I don't want to get I don't want this game to be the game where we pound our head against the wall just trying to run it and it's not working. I just would like to see some balance. Don't back away from the run if it's working. If you're picking up 4 to 5 yards a pop, or if Najee has a run or two plus 10 yards in the first half, don't back off of the run so soon. But if we're gonna put the ball in Ben Roethlisberger's hands, Matt Canada, please work the middle of the field. There's some more routes there. There's some more routes that I think that we can get to. Let's stop being so predictable, taking the shots or dumping it off to Najee. Even if you want to throw it to Najee, let's get an angle route or something. Let's stop being so predictable. And I would like to see some running back screens. I know they're not the most popular for everybody, but I'm seeing other teams run screens to their running back, and we have a horse right now that we're not even attempting to do that. The only screens that we're really running is the quick wide receiver screen, which, if you want to do that from time to time when guys are backing off, cool, but it's like, y'all know what I'm saying. We know it's coming before we even do it. I haven't really seen any tight end screens really, or a screen to Najee. So let's get a little more creative, because I think Ben might have to pass the ball a little bit in this game. We'll see. If the run is working, then cool, but just kind of scouting the Broncos. He might have to pass the ball a little bit, but let's get some easy throws in there, not just taking shots down the field. Let's work the intermediate, middle of the field, and things like that, man. You know what I mean? Even some quick throws that are beyond the line of scrimmage, at least. Another thing, our offensive line, man, after watching the game again last week, the offensive line, and I'm going to stick to this, the O-line played their best game against the Packers. They did. And you guys who are, extended members, extended family, I guess that's what I call the membership, you guys saw it. I pointed out the plays to you on the R22. The offensive line played their best game. No, they may not have been perfect, but, I saw some statistics that they were saying that Ben was only pressured 7% of the time. He did get hit in the game, but he only got hit 5 times as opposed to 14 times, which he was averaging the games before that. They played their best game, so maybe they're starting to come around a little bit. Guys are still going to have their warts where they have warts at, but Ben had time, man. There was opportunities in that game where Ben rushed it. I showed the play, man, the quick pass to Najee where he goes right to Najee, and if he just stops and reads the defense and reads the pressure not coming, Freiermuth is standing at the sticks. And I understand people are going to say, yeah, but he wasn't looking to the left. I get that, but why did he go so quick to Najee? It's almost like he's predetermining where he wants to go and he's reading it wrong. It's not even open. It's not even a situation where make a guy miss. No, Najee is catching it behind the sticks, behind the line of scrimmage, as a matter of fact. And there's like 3 or 4 guys in front of him. So come on, man, we got to do better than that. And here's one of the last things I said. The Steelers will need to have sound tackling in this game. Our run defense can't spring no leaks in this game because we've seen it. Maybe guys haven't rushed for 100 yards, but we've been giving up gashes. Guys have gashed us here and there in the run game. And this is a game that we can't afford to do that on, or in, rather, because my man Javonte Williams is, as advertised, he is still not going down on first contact. There were a few times in the Jacksonville game where they was able to get him behind the line, like they meet him at the line, converge on him, tackle for loss here and there. But if he gets ahead of steam going, the boy is not going down. He's not. He's doing the same things that he did in college that I loved him for, and he's running that thing. Especially if Melvin Gordon is not going to play or he's questionable, that means we're going to see more Williams. We're going to have to find a way to be stout against the run, man, because I feel like this. Teddy Bridgewater is playing some pretty good football, man. Even his deep ball, Teddy looks like his accuracy has come around. He's playing really smart. He's not forcing anything. He's not really turning the ball over. He's taking what the defense is giving him. It looks like he's playing a very methodical style, very cerebral style. So we're going to have to be, tight in coverage, and just play solid. You know, you're going to give up some stuff. You're even give up a score or two. It's the NFL, but we just can't spring any real leaks, and we got to, you know, find a way to stay in the game. Pass rush. Pass rush is going to be key because their offensive line looks really stout. You know, I will say that. In that game, and you know the Jags got a couple guys up front that can rush. Boy, Teddy had all day. He was back there taking orders for lunch. We cannot do that because if you give him that kind of time, he's going to be able to do what he can do. And also, you know, listen, his main target appears to be Sutton. Cortland Sutton seems to be his main target. So if he's not playing, and I don't think Hamler is going to be available, then that makes it interesting. You know, they got another kid, Patrick, that they seem to go to. Noah Fant, you know, I am curious to see how we're gonna, you know, who we're gonna match up against him. I would predict, you know, you might see Schobert against him from time to time. So, like I said, man, looking at the Broncos, I don't think they're unbeatable. Definitely, if they're handicapped at all, you know, with certain players not playing, I do think this is a winnable game. Even though they are 3-1. I think it's a winnable game. I think it's a game that the Steelers can win, but it's all going to come down to what the offense looks like. If the offense is stale and we can't put up any points and it's the same old, I don't think the defense will be able to hold the entire game and we lose. But trying to have some optimism here, like I said, I think the offensive line played their best game against the Packers. If Ben and Matt Canada can scheme this up the right way, if we can get balanced, you know, just run it a little bit enough to set things up, then I think we can win this game, even though, you know, the records wouldn't say that. But, you know, it doesn't scare me. But we're just gonna have to play a solid game, you know, and they still got Von Miller, and I don't know if Chubb is playing or not, but you know, they got a pretty nice defense there. But like I said, they are susceptible in the middle of the field. You know, I think there's some guys out there that can be had. Surtain is still a rookie. So, you know, Ben could probably do some of his veteran stuff to get him off the spot. You got to watch out for Simmons, of course, but we'll see. So that's just my pregame assessment, man. And, you know, would love to hear you guys' thoughts here. So, like I said, I'll spend a little bit of time with you guys. It's about 27 minutes now, so I'll give you guys about 3 to 4 minutes. We'll get up out of here and see what y'all got. Still a Nation 412 says it's going to be very low scoring game, but I